him back again because we're going to run short tonight. My next guest and his wife were in prison for 2 months by the Chinese government for holding religious education in their home. They were forced to flee the country because they conceived without proper permits from the Chinese authority. They were going to have a baby, and they refused to abort the child. The doctor said, I'm going to get in trouble if I don't report you. Run. Bob Fu is now a Christian pastor, president of China Aid, a group that helps fight religious persecutions in China, and the author of a book called God's Double Agent, first-hand account of a story that unfortunately is all too common in China. Bob, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I want to talk to you quickly, just for like 4 or 5 minutes, of just get your story, and I know it's impossible to compact it, but you were a dissident. You were in Tiananmen Square.
Mm-hmm.
You happened to leave there because your wife got sick, right?
Yes.
And then what happened there? Because then you started to get into trouble with the Chinese government. You were being sold out.
Yes. After the Tiananmen massacre in 1989, when the Chinese Communist government started using this so-called People's Liberation Army, killing hundreds, if not thousands, of innocent Chinese students, including other citizens. I was also revenged by the Communist Party, and I felt very disappointed and despair and even disillusioned, especially with some of my friends betrayed me.
You were an atheist and a communist.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So you were right lockstep with what you had grown up in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was educated. Even now, from elementary to university, atheism is still the must belief religion. So I was also very determined, to use my own effort to change my family, my fellow citizens, and my country. But then, when the massacre happened, it really was a wake-up call. And in a sense, when the students' leaders were like revenged, being treated like criminals, I was so disappointed, disillusioned, and I was even planning to commit a suicide bomb campaign to kill myself and my enemies. And then I found Christian faith. Really, God found me in that very desperate situation by reading a book. It was a biography of a Chinese pastor brought in by our American English teacher, who was a secret missionary, of course, teaching English. And I was totally convicted and really saw light. Basically felt, who am I could change China without myself being changed first? Who can change a human being without the Creator himself to change your heart first?
That's a totally different concept for anybody from where you were.
That's right. My mother was a beggar. When she was sort of like a natural deist, basically, and always when she was begging food for the years, when China had this great so-called leap forward, starvation, and so she always looked for something beyond what she could do to help her, and so I was. At that moment, basically, really turned to God, and God found me. I became a follower of Jesus Christ.
Okay, so now you actually taught Bible school kind of in the underground.
That's right. Yeah.
And then because the vice president has said he doesn't want to judge this policy of only one child, but you and your wife are going to have a second child. A second child?
First child.
First child. Or you have to have a permit for the first child.
Even the first child.
Even the first child.
Yeah.
Nice. And you didn't get that.
No.
And what did the doctor say?
Yeah, you tried to find a friendly doctor, a Christian doctor in Beijing, and the doctor said, without that card, it's something like this. It's a family, it's like a birth permit card.
Can I see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. This one is?
Yeah. This card basically documents women's, period or everything from the married age. You have to document everything wherever you travel. And when do they install birth control device, and when do they take it out, and when are you allowed to have pregnancy?
That's unbelievable.
Yes, even today. I mean, it's like So when we were not able to get a permit because my wife was in graduate school, I mean, even though we got married already for 3 years, and we were facing a forced abortion, and so we had to run out of Beijing. I was working in the Communist Party school at that time, although I was an underground church pastor. That's why I was called God's double agent, but it's God's humor.
Is there, please tell me there's a lot of you in, there's not a lot of you